Good morning, and it's Lilia from, excuse me, Heal Scotland and Scotland's Wild Medicine here. And today, again, I have Kenny Nielsen from the Polar Bear Club, because the last time I spoke to Kenny, I was like, oh, wait a minute, we only touched really on the ice. And I hadn't even heard that guy's name. Is it Roman? What's his name?
Romanovsky.
Yeah,
Valeri
Romanovsky.
Romanovsky.
Yes, I can't believe I'd not heard that guy's name before. So, wait a minute. That's Instagram kicking in. Yeah, so I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a whole other conversation about and the records and the power of the mind, because I think that's I mean, I'm a big Wim Hof fan. I think he's done the world a huge favour. But really what the missing part for me has always been, what is he thinking? And when I know that he doesn't hold the world record anymore, but how do you keep yourself in that level of cold? What are you thinking? What are you doing? How are you keeping your vitals up? So when you started talking about taking people from that to that shaking stage, I thought, right, this is an area I have no real clue about. So can you tell me all about it, please? And if anybody that's watching, just ping your questions into the box and we'll get to them.
So I think we were very, very fortunate because, like everybody else, we've been doing the whole Wim Hof route as well. And know what, for the record, because I feel like I've always got to say this, because people get really, really upset that we've got a different mentor, right? And it's like we get slaughtered after Wim Hof instructors left, right, and centre, right? And we love Wim Hof. Wim Hof is a guy that I watched sitting in my mom's living room, and I went, I'm going to do what he does. I wanted to swim under an iceberg. I wanted to stand in a tank for 2 hours a night. I wanted to do all that. So that's what I've seen. That's who inspired me. So we love Wim Hof. I practice the Wim Hof breath work every other day. I love it. So just to get that out of the way. But we're so lucky that we met Valeri Romanovsky. This was a guy that had been in the English speaking world. He hardly speaks English. We had a Polish friend. He was worshipped him, and he's like, I don't understand why you're not watching this guy. This guy has got so much knowledge in the cold, a different path up the same mountain. That's what we were told. So because Valerian was hoping to get into the English world, he's seen us, the Polar Bear Club, and what he really, really likes is no mind-altering substances. He likes no drink, no drugs. He thinks that you must have all your scruples about you when you enter the cold. You must have your full ability of your mind. So when we met him, started speaking to him, we brought him to Scotland and we done a 4-day retreat with him, which we thought was a retreat. Right? So we thought we were going to be going for meals and dips and lock tea and learning a wee bit about cold exposure and blah blah blah. Fiona had a full itinerary set out. No, this guy rocked in with a mountain medic with half a hospital with him.
Really?
Man, it was late at night. We were all sitting in the living room. We went, no meditation, no breath work. Get to your bed, be up at 7 a.m, and he just left. We were like, shit, this guy is serious. We had rented out the Borderlands, and I think that's what it's called, the Borderlands up in Loch Tay. It's like bunks. We set 2 big ice tanks. We'd order a ton of ice with ice 24/7. And we all woke up in the morning, waited for this guy to arrive. And for 4 days, we did not leave this tiny little garden. We did not leave it. He went, we're going to put you into hypothermia. We're going to teach you about resets. We're going to put you through a relay. It was seminar after seminar. I just sitting watching videos and listening to him talk. And it was probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It was like somebody described it, this is like a war zone. We were all getting put into hypothermia one at a time. He said, this is hypothermia training. He said, you are taking people in that. He said, I'm watching you taking a group of 100 people to Loch Lomond in the winter. He went, who are you? He said, who do you think you are? He said, you have no idea what you're looking for. He went, you wouldn't know hypothermia if it hurt you. And I was like, taken aback by it, going, what I've been doing this for ages, man. Who do you think he is? Do you know what I mean? And like, he said, I'm going to let you meet the cold this weekend. And that's what he done. No, it took me 53 minutes before I went into hypothermia. And the strange thing at that point was my temperature didn't even drop under 30. I think my temperature was at 35.3 degrees. We wouldn't even blink at that now. But in that,
Really?
my mind went. I was all over the place. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know who I was speaking to. I thought everybody was speaking Japanese. I was in some state, and it took me about 4 hours to warm up after it. Like, it was ridiculous. So what we done that weekend is we all had to look at each other. I was the last one to go, so I spent that 17 people, watched them get into hypothermia, bringing them out of hypothermia. The mountain medic was teaching us how to wrap them up, warm them up. And the most important thing that we were taught that weekend was the shake. It was all about the shake. And what we noticed was they were so uninterested in you. Because we're lying there, sleeping bag and cover and cover and cover, hot water bottle on your chest, hot water bottle on your thigh. You weren't allowed a hot drink because they were scared if you take a hot drink that it would switch to shaking ass. Yeah, God, if you take a hot drink too early, you're going to trick your mind into thinking it's done its job. The shaking will turn off. If your body temperature's dropping and you're not shaking, he said, then you're in an after drop.
Right.
He said, that's a true after drop. And he said, and if that happens, you're in serious trouble. Right. Like serious trouble, because your now body does not have the ability to warm back up again. So we're like, all right, we were learning so much information that weekend. Yeah, it was like when I went to the Titanic project, we done that with Valerian and these big hitters go around the world. And the Coast Guards were very, very strict ways. It was like, when the time is up, you do not move. You do not move a finger. You do not touch your head. You do not bend your toes. You lie as still as possible, and we will bring you back to this. Because any movement, every bit of movement that you do is using energy, and you need every single bit of energy in your body for your last moment. Because what we're trying to protect is the shake. So if you think about the shake being every muscle in your body is pulsing, and it's just charging all your energy. It's why it's so good for weight loss. It's crazy. You're just burning and eating energy. Like the day before we'll do Titanic project, or weeks before Titanic project, -50 chamber, a liner in the ice, blah, 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 all that good stuff we've done. We eat. So you're building up your calories, hundreds of chicken, hundreds of pasta, hundreds of like sugary fruits, strawberries, watermelon. Honey should be the drink that everybody takes when they go for a cold swim. Honey and water, nothing else. Because what you see is sometimes we see people in the open water and they're shaking, right? And they're freaking out, and they're maybe doing the horse dance, the Wim Hof horse dance. And for us, we'll say, look, you're shaking really, really bad. Sit down, lie down, wrap up, keep your energy. Because if you burn up too much energy, the shake can stop, and then it can get dangerous. But remember, we take things further than most people.
Yeah, right. So let me just. So basically, what you're talking about is putting people into that state of hypothermia, a safe state of hypothermia.
Aye.
Yeah, and you know that they've got to that stage by their body temperature. Is that right?
Yeah. See when you initially enter the ice, your body temperature will rise. It'll rise, like maybe a few points to a degree. We actually had a couple of 12-year-olds in 2 Thursdays ago, and because they're young, we don't check people's temperatures until about 20 minutes because we know the score. But because they were young, we check before they go in, and we check every 2 minutes. And they went from 36.5 degrees to 37.5 degrees within 30 seconds to a minute.
Wow.
And that was before they started shaking. You know what I mean? So the temperature just goes poof, it spikes up, and then we see them start to shake. We go, right, take them out. They're too young to really, to sit there and feel that uncomfortable. So everything we do is about maintaining your body temperature. That's what we do. We're trying to maintain our body temperature. That's Jack's 2 certificates there. He's the world champion. 6 hours in a minute and a tank full of ice. We rocked up to the Polish International Championships as the token Scottish group. They called it the International Championship because we were gone. We were in with all the big hitters of Poland and Norway. But what they don't realise is we train in here every single Wednesday to extreme. So we rocked up and we took 1st place, 4th place, 6th place. We'll get the reset record. A guy from Norway, a big massive hitter from Norway, wanted to beat Fiona's reset record at 619. He got to 400, and me and a medic had to pull him out the tank. And they were looking at us and going, "Aye, right, you're the real deal."
Aye, they realised you knew what you were doing. So what's the
Aye, they
reset
realised
challenge?
that we knew, aye.
What's the reset challenge?
So resets is when you fully submerge under. So we've got a tank that it's 1,000 litre tanks, and we've got them half full of ice. So when you go under, we call it the 100 Reset Club. This is what we train on a Wednesday night for. You go under, breathe out, you come back up. You stop, reset 3 times, bang, 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 reset. Then you do it 6 times, then you do it 10 times, then you do it 20 times, and then you'll do it till you get to 100. So we do that every Wednesday night. We take you from 10 resets to 100 resets, and that is purely for training the mind in the cold.
So
that is to totally change your mindset in the cold. It is excruciating.
I'm torn between I'm going to try that and So tell me, one reset, you go down and you breathe out.
So resets is all about control, right? It's about control in an extreme environment. Your extreme environment being our tanks sit at minus 0.4 degrees all the time. Right. They always get, they're more than halfway full of ice. So resets is about being in control. So you need to fully submerge, head all the way under. If your head doesn't go all the way under, we'll shout deeper. If you go deeper more than 5, if you don't go deep enough 5 times, we call it. At any point you stand up, we call it. Your breath has to always be consistent. So out the water, breathe in, under. We like to see bubbles. So we're looking for you to be in total control. This is where we always get slaughtered, right? And there's 2 specific people that say we're full of ego, right? It's always ego with us. I'm always so ego-driven, it's unbelievable. You couldn't do resets full of ego. You've got to be at your total wit. You've got to be at your total wits to do them. You're in control of your movement, control of your breath, control of the body, and you must conquer the mind. Because every time you dip under, it's like, nope, I can't. You've literally got to go against the negative part, the lower self, saying, don't do that again. It's like your mind wants you out. So every time you go against the grain, and you go, so what we say is a higher self, and because it's so quiet in there, right? This is why it's so good for working with people with problems in their head, right? Negativity, depression, anxiety, alcoholism, drug addiction. It's totally gone against the grain, right? So this little quiet bit, the coaches will sit with them all the time and say, we need to listen to that. So when that's screaming no, you need to listen to that and say, again. So every time you go under, you raise that higher vibration. And we're trying to get it up to about 80-20. Because for me, balance doesn't work. Balance for me is 2 crackpots square going each other inside my head. So I need to try and constantly keep my higher vibration higher than my lower self to try and keep me on some sort of even keel, because it's carnage in there sometimes. And that's what we do with the resets. You're constantly fighting against the part of the mind that's telling you that you can't achieve something. And when I say it's excruciating, it's excruciating. But the beautiful part of resets is, right, for me, it's about 40. When I know I'm getting close to the halfway mark, right, if I'm maybe in and out, I'll hear look at 10, 20, 30, 40, counting me down. When I get to about 40, I know I'm nearly there, right? And then what happens is, you're battled so hard. And you remember, you feel the ice, it's scratching off your skin. It's pulling, you're pushing through the piles of ice. And it's a pure battle. But when everything, your mind, your body, your breath, everything realizes he's no stopping, you go through like a brick wall, poof, and everything becomes clear. Everything becomes quiet. You're in total control. The pain goes away. And I kid you not, I hope there's people watching this that will confirm it for me, right? It's like you go into the 4th dimension and you are in the most unbelievable spiritual moment you could imagine. Everything goes. It's just like pure straight up meditation, and you're just ding, 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 ding. And it's unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable.
I've got Angela and Sean and Michael. Hi, guys. Thanks for commenting in the box. So anybody that's got any questions about this, Michael's saying an outer body experience, quite remarkable. Interestingly enough, hi Fiona, it calms in the calm and the chaos. Yeah, I mean, I found that actually in a sweat lodge. Have you ever done that?
I've never done a sweat lodge, but we have just built a big It's dishonour in the back room.
Because I did it when I was in Sedona, and it was agony. I mean, I kept thinking, you're not burning, but the mind was screaming, get out, get out.
Aye.
Because I was doing the letting go course at the time, I was just like listening to it, letting it go, and it was sheer determination. So yeah, and also when I started cold water at first, I mean, I would be screaming down in that loft.
Aye, man.
You know, it's
I've got my very first ever video. I've still got the very first video when Stevie took me up to the Campsies 9 months before I got sober. And we didn't even go down to the waterfall, we just went into a wee river. The snow on the side of the house, and I literally screaming and bawling and swearing. It was one of the worst experiences ever.
Exactly. It's so interesting. Right. So you take somebody, and everybody's slightly different. Everybody's unique, so it can be slightly different timing as to when they go to that.
Everybody's
place.
different. Hypothermia is different for every single person.
Is it normally women go quicker than men, or not at all, or what?
Well, we have found that women are a lot more. How do I say it? Women are a lot stronger in the ice, or a lot mentally stronger in the ice. By far, women have got this ability to just instantly accept, and we notice that probably 99% of the time. And it's fascinating. It's especially fascinating to watch when a couple comes in. And guys are very typical, you know, they're macho, and it's like, I'll be in here, not a problem, man. She'll struggle with it a wee bit. Know what I mean? She doesn't like it cold. That's usually what you see, and we laugh because we know now, right? And we're like, oh, and it's natural. Guys don't even realise they're doing it. I know I get a cold shower in the morning. I'm brand new, man. Right, no bother, pal. And what usually happens is the two of them sink in at the same time, and what women do is go, whoa, all right, this is where I'm at. To sit here for 10 minutes, let's work on it. And they'll sit and they'll go into a place of comfort and they'll just get on with it. Whereas guys almost always, the first couple of times, go into pure square go mode. And what they do is they try and fight it. So we spend all our time in newcomers going, you're never going to beat the cold. You're trying to fight the cold. You'll never beat it. It will always eventually win out. You need to do what she's doing, and you need to work with it. Right? But we've all done it. I've done it. All the guys, we all done it. We all square good it. But what they're doing is when they're fighting, they're like, ah. Right? And realistically, what they're doing is they're stopping the shake, or they're fighting against the shake, they're suppressing it. So they're making themselves colder. They're burning up lots of energy. Your mind is what's going to drop your temperature. Panic is what drops your temperature. No, there's 1,000 reasons why somebody would go into hypothermia. The number one reason is panic and worry. That's what's getting you. That's what's taking you to the tank. Whereas guys fight it, women accept it. There's the odd woman here and there that struggles a wee bit, but mostly I would say women are more adapt for the cold than what men are.
Mm-hmm. Michael's saying you need to try one, Lilia. Yes, I absolutely will.
You will try. Definitely will try at some point when you're not so busy.
Yeah, for sure. So, right, let me just run through this. Tell me about the girl that holds the reset record. How long did
Fiona,
she?
I'm sure she's there. The news. That's Fiona.
Fiona Chambers. Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Fiona Chambers. She's that's her certificate there. No, there. That's her certificate there. So that's a world record, a recognised world record. 619 resets. So away the start of last year, when Valerian kind of showed us resets, it wasn't really a big thing. It was all just about dumping your head under the water and seeing how many times you could do it. So what we done, just with me being an alcoholic and looking for control and trying to have ego, we perfected it into this sort of routine. And Fiona just been she's one of our coaches. Fiona, Michael, Luca, Alana, Katie, they're our coaches. Mammy's one nurse. So we just spent all last year just training and practicing, and we went for 100 resets, to 150 resets, 200, and then Alana came in, and her and Fiona were kind of neck and neck, and Luca came in and whipped out 350 resets, and then we were all kind of working against each other, not working against each other, but working with each other and talking each other's score. Fiona was by far she just had something. She had this ability. It's not had, she's got this ability in the cold, especially with resets. She went into her zone very, very fast. She got past the pain very, very fast. And when the day the actual world record attempt, we had Valerie Romanovsky, we had all the medics there. We had our own ice championships in Scotland that time in Minerva Street, and she was just to go for it. We were all practicing at 300 and 400 resets. They're like, just go for it. But Valerie Romanovsky put a twist at the end and says, you must be able to get out the tank yourself. If you can't get out the tank yourself, it means your ego's kicked in. You've went too far and you've went beyond the point your body is still in a safe position. So she was like, because usually we would just charge it and then we would just lift you it. You know what I mean? We would just go, just keep going, who cares, man? We're doing it ourselves. So we were taking all the risks, sort of pioneering risks, right? Yeah. So at this point, he put this, which is an amazing rule, by the way. And it totally stops ego, because you need to be in total control then. And we thought that's an amazing rule. But at the time, just about their world record, she's like, oh my God. So 619, she just wasn't sure. And she just went and stood up and went, that'll do me. To be fair, it's nobody's even better yet. I think even in our memberships, it's only 500 and something resets. So people have got a long way to go before they beat the Ice Maiden, that's for sure.
Smashed it. Yes. Oh, thanks, Fiona. She says she's been watching for years. My mind is always busy. Resets are one of the few times I can quiet my mind. Yeah, I mean, that's just so powerful. So powerful. And it's lovely to see. Well, I just think, you're just using something that's in nature, which is a temperature change. And I'm just so fascinated that I've not really come across this, this kind of staying in longer, because I think we need an element of competition. And I think there's healthy competition and then there's ego, right? And you guys clearly have got it covered. You know exactly what you're doing. And I think, it's like as soon as Roger Bannister broke the minute mile, everybody else, there's something about in the collective consciousness as well. And the people that are strong enough and brave enough, because an awful lot of health and safety does my nut in, because people believe it. Oh, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, you can. It's almost like as soon as somebody says to me you can't do it, I'm like, oh well, watch this. And and then we start to get stronger and stronger. The mind, the limitations get less and less.
I mean, we talk about health and safety, right? Everything we do is all about knowledge of the cold and how to keep safe and how to look after yourself. Because we have studied hypothermia in such a great length over the last 2.5 years, it's allowed us to push ourselves into our elements, right? So what we do is it's a very Polish thing. It's a very sort of Eastern European thing. This is what they do. They push themselves in the cold for longer, and colder. So what we have done is just took it for there and brought it here. So in Scotland, we are the pioneers, as in cold exposure, long exposure, resets, deeper, longer. We've just brought that for there and brought it here. So it's no new. It's just that we are the first here to start it. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and I think
so let me finish this one point, right? Because looking at what we've done, right? Fiona and Michael, they're there the new, right? A few weeks ago, they went up to the Falls of Brewer for a swim. Now, there's no warning signs, there's no alarm system, there's no nothing. But a couple of electric companies have got hydro dams up there. Now, they've got hydro dams up there, and every now and again they're releasing water without telling anybody. Right? It is scandalous, by the way. It is unbelievable, right? Now, Fiona and Michael were swimming in there. The hydro dam opened, and they get trapped behind a rock. And for 2 hours, they were trapped in the water. They couldn't move, they couldn't get out until somebody had seen them, phoned the mountain rescue. The mountain rescue came, got them out the water, and the mountain rescue people said to them, how do you know? Because the temperature went to 34 degrees. The mountain rescue said to them, how do you know had the training that you had? Had you not been in the club that you had been in, you would be dead. There's no way you would have lasted 2 hours in that water at that cold for that time. You would be dead.
Wow. That is some story.
So what we done and what they two have done with their own knowledge and their own, willingness to pursue this has essentially kept him alive. Where other people without this sort of in-depth knowledge of hypothermia and how to keep calm and how to keep focused and how to allow the shake to come through, would have panicked and died, because panic is the number one reason why anybody will just die. That is the
Yeah.
reason.
It's the same with
We
drowning.
noticed it with Jack. When we did my very first ever ice championships, we had Luca had sat in the ice tank for 2.5 hours, right? And Jack, being Jack, who's the world champion, I want to be the best, right? Which is fair enough. Everybody can do what they want to do. He wanted to sit in and beat Luca's time. At 2 hours, Jack had maintained his temperature at a normal temperature, say about 36 degrees, right? Maintained it for 2 hours and 0 degrees. At 2 hours, he said, "Oh, I started to get uncomfortable. Oh, I started to do this. He started to try and move his leg. Then you can see how uncomfortable he was getting. And then what happened is he started to panic a wee bit. And the second he started to panic, his temperature went from 36 to 34. And we had to take him out within minutes.
Wow.
Like just like that, the mind took him. Off, and you're out again.
Yes. Yeah, that is
incredible.
so interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the body-mind connection, I mean, that's the stuff that I teach all the time. Like we were talking about before we went live, you know, like when people are told they're terminal or it's aggressive or non-operable, all these terrible things they tell people about the body, panic just sets in, and you know, you might as well just shoot them there and then, because the mind is very difficult to unhear. So I mean, it's just phenomenal that we can access these superpowers, because it's stuff again that people thought were impossible. And it's the mind, it's always the belief systems, the perceptions, and that is so fascinating. So let's just go back over that again for my clarity, so that I can tell other people about it when they ask me as well. So you get to the place of hypothermia, and then normally, so say it was me, you would just take me out then. Is that?
So any person that's no, I would say a coach, when they hit 35 degrees, it's game over for them. They would say, "We'll not push you any further." The Titanic project at my temperature went to 31 degrees. But
wow,
at 35 degrees, we'll say that's enough to do. Unless you're coming in constantly and we're building up and we can see, we know that you're going to be all right, you're going to be comfortable with it. So 35 degrees is about normal time we would stop anybody in any sort of long exposure experiment.
And then you would come out and you would just get covered up with a hot water bottle and a blanket.
So I mean, where you put a water bottle is quite important. On the chest, in between the thighs, you're trying to get that big vein there, and it's layered. So you want to be up off the ground. You don't want to be lying on a hardcore ground. You want to be up on a camping bed or on a couch or whatever, kind of elevated away from the cold. And then it is literally just layers and layers and layers, and stay away from
how long does it take?
Everybody is different. Everybody is different. I mean, there's people that come in here and do a 10-minute dip, and if it's a first dip, they get wrapped up like they're in hypothermia, and their temperature would either drop a point in a degree, but because the outside is cold, the body's shaking, and it's very uncomfortable. So we do the whole wrapping up ceremony for them, and they can lie there and shake for 20 minutes, half an hour. Do you know what I mean? And then what usually happens is they're setting the third, the fourth time at the club, they know what's happening. And you tend to enjoy the shake. The shake is an unbelievable, beautiful trauma release. We use it in our ice ceremonies. We do ice ceremonies in here, put people into the tank. We wait for the shake, we bring them back out, we wrap them up, we put them back into the meditated state, and they lie there. And we use that as a trauma release. But everybody is different. It could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but what usually happens is once you're familiar with it, you'll come out the tank, you'll get dried, you'll put your clothes on, you'll go and sit in the corner and chat away while you're shaking. That's usually what happens.
Right, okay. So trauma release, that's fascinating, and that kind of makes perfect sense to me, obviously, because you're going quite deep, aren't you?
Yeah.
What other health benefits have you seen from your clients? I mean, obviously, we're talking about addiction, so we're talking primarily about the mind, and getting away from that monkey mind and finding peace from the mind. And clearly, if you're and trauma release, so that's on the emotional side. But what do you see maybe more physically and spiritually?
I think spiritually it's astronomical, especially for me, right? But physically, I believe, because obviously I don't know, that people with injuries, broken bones, torn muscles, inflammation, because we go so deep with the cold, right? Because we go so cold with so much ice. Ice itself is -10 degrees, and we are encapsulated you in it. People are coming out the tank going, oh my God, my shoulder. They're like, wow. We had a woman last year who had this sort of nerve damage down whatever side of her body it was. And she was actually kind of curved the way she stood. She was this tall, elegant, beautiful looking woman, man. And she'd had this most of her life. And you could see how uncomfortable she was. And when she went into the tank, she sat there. She actually came in with a big Wim Hofer. So she did. This big Wim Hof guy, and he was breathing and he was freaking out, man, and he could not handle it, man. It's hilarious. And she came in and slinked in so elegant. And because she had been in so much pain for so long, she says, I'm just enjoying a different sensation. Like, I'm just enjoying this different feeling. And when she came out, she handed me a cup of tea and she was shaking. She's like, wow. Like, just that release, that 10, 20 minutes, that just release for that is just unbelievable. It's beautiful to watch, but definitely people heal faster in there. We also work with a big guy, Danny. I don't think he'll mind us talking about it. Who's got Tourette's. And what happens with him is the second he slinks into the tank, his Tourette's just vanishes. It disappears.
Wow.
It goes away. And he sits there for 10, 15, 20 minutes. He's actually the Polish Championship days because he likes to go longer and longer and give himself a break, right? And then when we get him out, we swat him up, we lie him back. His Tourette's, his tics are still away, right up until the point his body starts heating up and he kicks in again. And that's fascinating to watch. So it is how it can control that for that short period of time. So physically, medically, it's out of this one.
It's phenomenal. And so, and most people that do cold water are aware that it's really good for maintaining or weight loss, depending on how long you're doing it for. But if you're going to take people to that state, how often would you recommend per week? Obviously, and you want to be in conjunction with some form of sense.
In a business sense, we want 3 times a week. I'm always wrong. I don't know. It totally depends on what you're coming for. I would say once every 2 weeks you could probably be all right. Most people probably come once a week. So people that come once a week, we say, come in once a week and stick to your cold showers. We just cold showers, man. They're brilliant. They're so simple. They're so easy. If you're like, I can't get to the logs of the waterfall, turn your shower on, man. Shut up. And you just get on with it. It doesn't have to be timed. It doesn't need to be like the club where I'm doing 10 minutes, I'm doing 15 minutes, I'm doing 10 resets. Just go in, turn your cold shower on, get your heat under, get your body all soapy, rinse it off, and go on with your fucking day, man, right? Forget about it. Don't make it a big deal. Come in once a week and we'll put you through your paces and we'll give you that absolute charge. If no, every 2 weeks, some people do it once a month. It just depends, isn't it? People will come in when their heat's busting. People come back in when their shoulders sore again, or with their legs starting to hurt, or they feel like they're picking their crutch up, or it's like, I just need another wee shot. Some people who really struggle with it, who aren't really there for the mental side of it, say they've got sore hips and maybe just come in and store in it for 5-10 minutes, do you know what I mean? My foot going fully under and get that release. So everybody's so different. Everybody's so different.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so really, you can tailor it for anyone and everyone.
You can. Aye,
that's really absolutely fantastic. So, again, just to recap for those listening and for so you would come in, if this is when you want to actually say you're coming just for the spiritual experience, because that's the thing that's really kind of exciting me about it now.
So you're coming for the spiritual experience. I believe even with the 10 minutes, 10 resets, right? So we'll get that as your starting off point. That is your beginner's level. If you've never even had a cold shower, we're still putting you in there for 10 minutes and we're still getting you to do 10 resets. The spiritual aspect of that is the fact that you've pushed yourself through an extreme environment. And there seems to be this thing when, we are coaches. So we are there to coach you through this and for you to bring it into your life, right? So it's not just about getting an ice tank, it's about pushing through this pure uncomfortable moment. So it all goes back to pushing through the part of your mind that's telling you no. So if you book even like a half-hour session at the club, that's 10 minutes in the ice and maybe 2 minutes to do a couple of resets, right? 12 minutes in the ice, and the rest of it is us looking after you, make sure you warm back up. So you'll come in, we'll explain to you everything, we'll tell you who we are so you're not too scared. We'll get you ready in your swimming costume, no gloves, no boots, as much skin as possible, as much skin as you're comfortable with. We'll take you into the tank, the coaches will stay with you side by side, we'll never leave your side. You'll sit at the tank, you'll get in, as soon as your toes hit the water, it's no. So we're just constantly saying to them, look, your mind, this is your mind's going to take you. The voice in your head, that isn't you. This voice, it sounds like you. That doesn't want you in here. It doesn't want you to accomplish it. It wants you to fail. Don't let it. Then they go down. Then they get to their waist. We get them to do that with their fingers, thumbs in there, hands like that, under like that. Protect your hands a wee bit, because that's the thing that most people can't deal with. And then bang, right down to your neck. When it goes to your neck, the body will then go into action. So the body's going, unsafe, danger. The monkey breath, we call it, right? The trick is at that point is don't fight it, right? Don't try and fight. People get embarrassed by like stupid, right? It's not a fucking fashion show, right? So, yeah, it's the monkey breath. Let it happen. Let it happen.
Yeah.
Just let it go, man, right? And it takes, usually, which is so strange, right? Everybody, give it 45 seconds, goes, oh, right? And they're in, and they go, oh, and then they realise they've not stood back up, and they go, what's going to happen now? And they go, hey, now we sit, now it's a waiting game. And then we'll sit and explain to them, your feet is literally about to be agony. So, it's just another feeling. It's only a feeling. What is pain but a feeling? Right? It's just another feeling, right? What is sore? So we sit there, they go through it, they go through the sore feet, then they go through the sore bones, then they go to the skin. And here, always very, very uncomfortable because you've got the two different temperatures and it's ice. You know, -10 ice through your neck. Then they accept that. And then it comes to a place. Because as soon as you go into the tank, heart rate goes poof, skyrockets. And that's what all this comes to. 45 seconds. And the heart rate plummets, goes really, really low. The body goes, he's not taking me out of here. What's next? So all the panic, all the worry, all the deep breathing, that's no work. He's not took me to the tank. What will I do now? Right, survival mode. The body goes right into survival mode, starts to bring on the wee shake. It starts to just centralise the blood through your core. So it takes away the blood from your arms and your legs and your feet. That's probably how you really feel it. And your hands and your feet. It's important to put your hands in the water because it's important. Your fingers and your hands are full of receptors for the cold. It's good for the body to understand where it is. It's totally encased in it, right? So the body goes, we're not getting out. He's staying in here. What's happening? So then the body's into survival mode. The blood starts to concentrate around your core and starts to protect your liver, your heart, and your lungs because that's all you need to survive. It doesn't need anything else to survive. That's all it needs. So that starts to come around there, protects that. And then after, the shaking comes in, and then that's it. We just sit and wait. The 10 minutes, we show you the timer, and everybody usually goes, oh my God, 10 minutes, I can't believe it. I've been terrified for weeks since I booked it. And then at that moment, you see them, they light up. They just light up like, wow, how have I done that?
The euphoria of success.
And that is that. It becomes, it's not even about the age sometimes for people. It's the fact that they've achieved something. You think of somebody booking an ice bath, especially with the Polar Bear Club, knowing who we are, right? Knowing that we're no 3-minute therapy dippers, we're this other level, right? Yeah. Somebody can book an ice bath for 2 weeks prior, and they've been in that ice bath for 14 days. And they've thought about it every morning and every night. They've contemplated no coming. They've had to get to the night of the bath. They then have to go into their car. The palpitation of the heart. They're sweating. They're nervous. They're scared. They don't know what's going to happen. They come into the club, just meeting new people, putting your hand out, look at somebody in the eyes, anxiety, fear, worry, stress, before you've even went into an ice tank. Before you've even looked at the fucking cold, right? And you're sitting there and you've had all this for 2 weeks because you've got social anxiety. Right? You get to here, we talk you in, you get a big cuddle, you get a polar bear love, you get into the tank, you get baptized, you come out, and we will see people have got a different colour of fucking eyes when they come out. I'm not a joke. I'm very confident in what I do now. This has been years and years of practicing this with people. I'm very confident in what I'm saying and how people react. I know for a fact you come in, we'll change your perception of the crowd, and you will take something to it. You will take something to it. No doubt, 100%. I'm so confident in it. And very rarely, and I mean very rarely, do people never come back.
Yeah.
It very rarely happens. They always come back. Always.
Absolutely fantastic and fascinating. I love it. I love the, because we know the pharmaceutical model is well and truly busted and psychotic. But the idea that we have the power within nature to have the massive impact in the body that we can have.
Yeah.
And obviously what you're doing, there's definitely a level of skill required in order to get to the level that you guys are at. You need experts around you. But eventually once you get to know your body that well, we can access so much of this stuff. And we need every single community in Scotland should have access to this, so that we can.
That is really your plan. Our plan is to once we get proper funding, is to start branching out. That's why we've already got 6 coaches trained up to sort of my level. No, we've all been doing this now for a while. Alana Luca probably coming a bit later, but already, the two of them have already stood in a tank for longer than I don't mean beating Wim Hof, but Wim Hof done it for just under 2 hours, and they went and just beat his time for just over 2 hours in the full body contact with ice. Well, and they are now up at that level, and we're just waiting now to branch out so we can go, right, you go there, you go there, you go there, and we can start, and then we can start teaching more people. But it's just, again, man, everything all comes down to funding and money. We need a millionaire to come in and say, look, let's go and save people, man. I know, you have there's your wages, there's your wages, there's your wages, there's your wages. Go and do what you're doing. That's all we need. We don't need anything else. We're all very passionate. We're all in love with it. We're all in love with people. We're all in love with helping people. We just need the funding. That's what we need.
That's going to happen for sure. Definitely.
I think so. It's coming, to be fair.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, listen, thanks a million for your expertise and passion and experience, because that's really, when you start to see loads of people having all these different, impact in their lives, it is so inspiring and rewarding. And like I was saying to you before, I've been having a wee bit of a struggle over the last few months to keep my levels of passion up and going, oh my God, should I just give all this up? And then you get re-inspired by people like yourself. I've got another friend who's been really inspiring me recently, and you're going, no, we all need inspiration at times. I really believe the people in Scotland can make these massive changes by simply having the guts, the ovaries or the balls to get in the cold. It's just a total no-brainer. Why would you not try it?
Exactly, man. You don't need to go to the extremes that we go.
No, well, exactly.
Turn your cold shower on and go in the water. If it's 10 settings, it's 10 settings. I guarantee you, when you come out of the shower, you'll at least be laughing. You'll at least be laughing. That's it. What else do you want?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, listen, you and I are going to chat again next week about a very big subject. God.
I don't care. I'm talking about him. God, man. Listen, God is one of the biggest things in my life. So God is what I met at the campuses. God is what I pray to every day. If I got an idea of God, no a perfect idea, I'm building towards it. It changes as I go through this journey. But for me, I am very unapologetic. The fact I get up in the morning and pray, and I go to my bed to pray, and all through the day I say, thy will, not mine, be done. I'm very unapologetic about it. People get a problem with it, that's their fucking problem.
Well, as you know, I've started studying the Bible. It's probably, it'll be coming near the end of the year, it'll be a year. Now, I'm definitely, I'm 64, so I don't just believe things automatically, but wow, has it made me consider, has it challenged my belief systems? Has it expanded my understanding and opened my mind? Oh my God, yes. And it freaks people out. I've had a few negative comments, and like you, I'm just like, if you're not prepared, it's a book at the end of the day. Let's have a look at it. Let's see, because what we do know is we can look out I'm going up to Aberdeen this weekend to visit my friend in hospital, and I'm walked around that hospital, and I'm like, why is nobody thinking? Why are all these people in hospital? Why is nobody realising we were never designed to be sick like this? Never. We're doing something terribly out of alignment when so many people are suffering with their health. So let's have a look and see if there's a better way to do it. That's the way and why would you not try it? Anyway, we'll dive deep in that next week, next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So I look forward to seeing you again then. And listen, thanks a million for your time and your passion. Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Looking forward to next week. Can't wait.
And that's Michael. Keep what you're doing, Lily. Never give up. Yeah, you will see me at the club. Definitely. I'm going to look at my diary and get a date in. And so that's the other thing I was going to say. So I could just practice that resetting in the sea, just to get.
No. You need to be really careful, because I mean, you could maybe do 3 or 4 or whatever, but resets will drop your temperature. They will drop your temperature. You have to be really, really careful, especially in the winter months. Yeah.
But
you need to really be. You could try a couple, do you know what I mean? You could try some just to get a wee feel for it. But I definitely wouldn't be doing any more than 10 resets. We would actually, our stance is you should not be doing resets. We sometimes see other clubs out there, they're practicing them. I've seen a couple of adverts for some other cold water therapy places, and you see their coaches are doing resets, and I'm like, they don't even know what that is. It's not just as simple as going in and out. There's a science behind the fact that every time you go in there, you make yourself colder and colder and colder.
Yeah.
And if you've not got
your head under.
And if you've not got somebody there that's glued up on how to look after you, if you get too cold, if you go into a proper rattle, if the rattle gets really deep, if you start to panic in that rattle, it can be really, really dangerous. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I've done the snorkel. It's a world record. It's 30 minutes under there. We just snorkel on. It's like, this is what we do, right? You cannot say what you want. Unfortunately, this is our game. We are well trained in this, whether you think it or no, right? You really do not try what we try unless you're here and we're looking after you. A couple of resets maybe, but no more.
I'll maybe just try one and see how it goes. As long as I've got somebody there.
It's always nice to go under in it and come back out a wee dump.
Exactly. I mean, I always put my head under. I don't feel it's a bit like a shower. I don't feel like I've been in unless my head's been under. But anyway, listen, I need to go to work now. So huge love and appreciation, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Love you. Brilliant.
Love you.